Hey everyone, and welcome! Today we're tackling a really big question about charity, and it's all inspired by the concept of zakat. The question is this: is the goal of giving just about financial relief, or should it be about something more? Something like helping people flourish and stand on their own 2 feet. We're going to explore a new way of thinking about what success in giving actually looks like. So let's just dive right in with the big question. When we're trying to help people, is just giving them money really enough? It's so easy to focus on the numbers, right? How much was donated? How much was given out? But are we missing the bigger picture? That's really the core idea we're going to unpack today. Okay, so to really get a handle on this debate, we first have to understand the system at the very heart of this research, Zakat. And trust me, it's a concept that goes way deeper than just simple charity. So Zakat is one of the 5 foundational pillars of Islam. This isn't just a voluntary, nice-to-do donation, it's a religious obligation for Muslims who have a certain amount of wealth. And its purpose is incredibly specific: to purify the wealth of the person giving it, and super importantly, to redistribute that wealth to create a more balanced and fair society.
And this is what's so fascinating. It has this dual nature. On one hand, yeah, it's a personal, spiritual act for the individual. But on the other, it's this incredibly powerful socioeconomic tool. It's designed to build a safety net, encourage empathy, and make sure that the community as a whole takes care of its own. It's really where faith meets social finance.
All right. Now let's see how this all leads to the central problem we're talking about. See, some researchers in Johor, Malaysia, noticed a strange paradox. Even though more and more zakat aid was being given out, it wasn't always fixing the root causes of poverty.
The local Zakat institution there in Johor, it's known as Mainjay, has seen a huge increase in the aid it's collecting and distributing. So if you just look at the numbers, you'd think, wow, they're crushing it. But on the ground, they're still seeing these nagging issues. Some people are relying on aid year after year, and others are just not satisfied. It suggests the money isn't always translating into a truly better quality of life.
And this slide just lays out the whole argument perfectly. The traditional way of thinking about success is purely about quantity. How many dollars went out the door? Simple. But this new proposal suggests a massive shift. Instead of just focusing on the money, what if we started measuring psychosocial well-being? Things like a person's satisfaction with their life, their self-confidence, their support system. The question totally changes from how much was given to how has this person's life truly improved? And this quote from the researchers, man, it just hits the nail on the head. It points to this cycle of dependency where the aid is kind of like a temporary patch, not a catalyst for real, long-term change. The system is functioning, but you have to ask, is it truly effective in the ways that count the most?
So, to get to the bottom of all this, the researchers have proposed a study that boils everything down to 3 clear, really powerful questions. First, they want to measure something that's often just totally overlooked: satisfaction. Are the people getting the aid actually happy with the process? Do they feel it's fair, that it's timely, that it's efficient? This is all about their actual lived experience. Second, they plan to measure that deeper stuff we were just talking about. This goes way beyond their bank accounts to ask, how are you really doing? Emotionally. Do you feel confident? Do you feel supported by your community? Are you satisfied with your life as a whole?
And finally, the million-dollar question. This is where it all comes together. Is there a measurable, scientific connection between how satisfied someone is with the aid they get and how well they're actually doing in life? If the answer is yes, well, that could change everything about how we distribute aid.
So it's one thing to have a great set of questions, but how do you actually go about answering them? Let's take a look at the researchers' game plan.
The approach here is really structured. They plan to conduct a big quantitative survey. We're talking 200 to 300 zakat recipients across several key areas in Johor. They're going to use a detailed questionnaire where people can rate their feelings on a scale, which is awesome because it will provide hard data that can be analyzed statistically. No guesswork. And this isn't some open-ended project that'll drag on forever. As you can see from this timeline, it's a really focused 9-month study. They'll spend a couple of months prepping the survey, the next 3 actually collecting the data, then 2 months analyzing it, and the final 2 writing it all up. It's a very systematic and efficient plan. And if we break it down even more, the process is super clear and super ethical. First, get the official okay from the Zakat institution. Second, get informed consent from every single person who participates. Third, go out and gather the data. And finally, use statistical software to crunch all those numbers and find those crucial links between satisfaction and well-being.
Okay, so this all sounds like a really solid academic study, but what's the real-world impact?
why does asking these questions actually matter? Well, this right here is the most important part.
The potential benefits here are just huge. For the Zakat institution, this research could give them, for the first time, hard data to guide what they do. They could design better programs that don't just provide money, but also build confidence and self-reliance. This human-centered approach would improve their public image and could even create a whole new, more effective model for other charities all over the world to follow.
Ultimately, the goal is transformative. It's about shifting the entire mindset of giving from being a simple transaction, just financial relief, to being a catalyst for something so much bigger, fostering genuine human flourishing. And that leaves us with one last thought to take away. This study focuses on Zakat in Malaysia, but the principle behind it is universal. So I'll leave you with this question. How should we, as a society, measure the true success of any charity? Is it by the size of its budget, or is it by the richness of the lives it helps to build? Thanks for joining me.